the amount of dragon books that I have hyper-fixated on, and I think we should stop doing that. I'll be shocked if you regret it, genuinely. Okay, fam, we need to have a chat because I have been feeling guilty. I am so far behind on my reading goal, and it is making me annoyed and sad. And yes, I'm being a little bit hard on myself, but I think this is an important conversation because I think some of this is why people are hesitant to say that they're a reader or to try to read consistently. According to my Fable, I am 32 books finished out of my goal for 50, and we are nearing the end of October, meaning there are only 2 months, and in order to reach my goal, I would need to read 18. I would need to read 18 books, which is not impossible, but is it probable? Probably not. So I'm starting to come to terms with the fact that I'm probably not going to reach my reading goal for this year. And for somebody like me, I thrive on goals. I love to just set new dreams and see if I can make them come true. And it doesn't seem like this is going to be one of them, which is fine. But it has me thinking, what happened this year that led me to feeling like 50 books is now an unattainable goal when I said it, I thought it was pretty fair. It meant roughly 1 book a week, with a little bit of wiggle room. So why am I so far behind? The first thing that comes to my mind is, I had such a busy summer, which I did. Looking back, the summer was so busy and I'm so grateful for it, but I wasn't reading as much. Okay, there's that. But I love to read. So why wasn't I reading as much? Why wasn't I turning to this thing that definitely makes me happy and is one of my favorite things to do? And in short, I was being way too hard on myself. Not only just expecting myself to finish a book a week, which I know that I can do, but I didn't really give myself any wiggle room. I haven't read 50 books in a year in I don't know how long. I think before this, the most books I'd read in a year was somewhere in the 20s, and I'm now in the 30s, so still an improvement. But I think that when I was approaching reading 50 books this year, I was just being way too hard on myself. And I think part of it is because I do like to share what I'm reading and have bookish chats with you, because it is something I just truly, truly, truly love and am so passionate about. And when I think of book creators, they are always reading something new. They always have an opinion on the latest hot book. They already have their BookCon tickets, which I do have, but that's besides the point. I think part of me felt like I had to be reading something brand new. I had to have something to share with you. I do feel like that because of the way our current society is, and especially with the internet, we're also addicted to the next new thing. What is everybody watching? What is everybody talking about? Oh, we read that book. Okay, what's coming out? Here are the top 10 books being released in October. You have to read all of them or you're going to be out of the loop. That's how it feels sometimes, at least to me. And I don't like that. I don't like feeling the need to constantly be stimulated with something new when I know deep down in myself, I have never really been that way. Which leads me to this conversation of my comfort reads. At my core, I am a fangirl. I love to love something. I love to obsess about something. I love to dive really deep into the nooks and crannies and see what's going on and understand it and be fans of the characters or just whatever it is. The messaging, all of it. I eat that stuff up. I always have. As a kid, I would literally come home and rewatch the same movies every day after school. And was it because we didn't have access to streaming services and can watch whatever we wanted anytime we wanted? Maybe yes. But also, I found it comforting. That's how I developed my favorite movies. My love for the fandoms that I actively participate in come from me enjoying my comfort things. And one thing that I definitely haven't been doing this year is enjoying my comfort reads. There are 2 series currently that have my heart and soul, and I fully mean that. I crave the feeling that these 2 series give me, and both of them dropped brand new books this year. I should be ecstatic. This is more than I could ever ask for. And was I? No, I wasn't, because I was too focused on getting through those books and moving on to the next one so that I could reach this 50 book goal for the year. And I missed out on all of the fun because I somehow told myself that it was no longer worth it, which is just not true. So when talking about these 2 books, I just kind of brushed over it, and it makes me sad. And now I find myself at a place where I am craving the feeling of these books. Like, I need it. I was in such a deep reading slump. I'm picking up book after book, having a hard time committing to it, deciding immediately that I didn't like it, and trying to find the next, which just makes you feel unmotivated to read at all. And I had to ask myself, why am I doing this? Why do I feel like picking up a book that I know that I love is like a waste of time? Part of me thinks it's because we have this like joke within the bookish community of like a never-ending TBR, like you're never going to get through your TBR. And maybe part of me wanted to like be a bit of an exception to that. I think part of me wanted to be like, I have read every book on my shelves. These are my clothing racks, but my bookshelf is in front of me. I wanted to say that I've cracked open every book spine and read it and enjoyed it and whatever. And the truth is, I will never do that. You can never read every story in the world, and I think that that's exciting because you'll never run out of opportunities, but also kind of daunting if you try to make that a goal. And sometimes I feel like in these bookish communities, the topic of rereads is almost taboo. Like, we don't talk about our rereads because they're not new reads. And I think we should stop doing that. For a fangirl, a reread is just like a first read, at least for me, for these two series. And so this week, I will be sharing with you some rereads. I let all of that pressure go. I was like, I cannot do this anymore. I need to enjoy the thing that I know that I enjoy. Because that's a form of self-care, okay? Doing what you know that you love that's going to make you happy, regardless of what other people think or what other people have told you to do, that's self-love. So what are these two series that I'm referencing? The first is the Legendborn series. That is such an incredible series. I feel like book one is a masterclass, perfect read. Like, the whole series is great so far, but book one is just perfect to me. If you haven't already picked up Legendborn by Tracy Deonn, I am begging you to do so. I'll be shocked if you regret it. Like, genuinely. Maybe we will reread that series together sometime. The series that I'm talking about right now that I'm currently in the middle of rereading is the Empyrean series by Rebecca Yarros. And if you've been following my reading vlogs this year, you probably guessed that, because the amount of dragon books that I have hyperfixated on this year is actually hilarious. And I think that it is rooted in the fact that I love the Empyrean series so much that I'm like craving being near it. And when you weigh in all the things that I was talking about earlier, feeling like I have to read something new, I was reading new books that I hadn't read before, but they all had a common strand, and that was dragons. And that's because I love the dragons in the Empyrean series. And I missed them so much that I was trying to like feel them through these other books. The third book in the series, Onyx Storm, dropped I think around March this year. It was the same time as the third book in the Legendborn series, so I was thriving in March. But I read through this book so quickly just to devour the plot. Then I set it on my shelf and left it there and tried not to think about it and tried to pay attention to other books, and I didn't even let myself enjoy it. And that's when I found myself in a deep dive of theories about what's going to happen next in the series, and basically all these fangirls talking about the book. And I said, wait, I am one of you. Like, I am one of you, but I'm counting rereads in that book goal. So if anything, I'm getting a little closer. I actually haven't been reading the hardcover. I have been reading it on my Kindle. I've been highlighting quotes. I've been leaving notes about my theories. I've been really just thinking about the plot and where I think it could go and what I love about the characters, and taking my time reading this book as opposed to just getting through it so that I can know what happens. And I kind of think that's how you know you really like something. And I'm excited to share more of that with you as we go along. Maybe at the end, I will share some of my Onyx Storm theories if you've read the series, because it is pretty popular. But that leads me to a bit of a bookish haul. Should we start with books or merch? We're going to start with the books. While rereading Onyx Storm, my interest in becoming an annotation girl was revived. And I was like, you know what? This is actually the perfect time to really try to annotate a book because I already know what happens. In the past, when I've tried to annotate something, I will start off really, really strong. I'm highlighting, I'm making notes in the margins, I'm using those cutie page tabs. And then I get distracted by the actual plot of the book that I stop trying to annotate it. The tabs always just like fall off halfway through, which I guess is a good problem, but not when you want to like fully annotate a book. But because I already know what's happening and what's going to be the end result in Onyx Storm, I can pay so much more attention to the little things that characters say, the way that things are described, the information that Rebecca Yarros is trying to tell you. So as a step towards truly crowning myself an annotation girl, I went and picked up the paperback versions of the other two books in the series, the first two, Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, so that I could write in them because I only own hardcover editions and like special editions of these books. So I don't want to ruin them with my weird notes in the margins, but the paperbacks are perfect for that. I don't have the Onyx Storm one yet. I looked it up and it's supposed to release in January. So once that's out, I will just transfer all of my Kindle notes into it. But yesterday, I spent the day transferring my Kindle notes from Fourth Wing into the paperback, and look how cute she is. Funny enough, I actually did do a reread of Fourth Wing earlier this year in preparation for Onyx Storm coming out. You would think that I would read the second book before reading the third, but I was just really craving the first. So I took all of those Kindle notes and put them in the paperback last night. I was transferring my notes, it was really funny to see what I paid attention to. A majority of these tabs are the colors that I assigned to Violet and Xaden, because I do remember on my reread, I was just obsessed with figuring out why I loved Xaden Ryerson so much. Like, what was it about the way that Rebecca Yarros was writing him that led me to becoming obsessed with a fictional man? Like, I needed to know, so I took all the notes. Majority of these tabs are for that, and it was just funny. It was making me laugh, and it makes me excited to do another reread of this book because then I can focus on something else, just like leaving myself something to look forward to, I guess. I will need to do another reread of Iron Flame before adding annotations, I feel, because it's been a little minute. But let me tell you how I knew I loved this series. I read the first book. I thought it was fine. I was intrigued enough to pick up the second book, Iron Flame. I read Iron Flame. As soon as I got to the last page, I closed it. I put it down. I picked up Fourth Wing again, reread it, and then reread Iron Flame directly after that. And this was within a span of maybe 2 weeks. That's when I knew I was obsessed, which is why it's so shocking to me that I made up some rule against rereads subconsciously in my mind this year. On to the book merch. This is Fourth Wing merch. specifically Fourth Wing bookmarks. How cute are these? I'm not going to talk too much about the dragons or really explain anything about them because I think that is way too much of a spoiler if you haven't read the first one. Maybe this will interest you. Maybe the cute merchandise will interest you in reading a book that I love, but I'm just going to show them to you. Look how cute. And this is her name on the back, and Darna. If I had to pick a favorite, it would be her. And we're going to leave it there. I also have this one featuring multiple dragons, multiple colors of dragons. And the back says, the combined hatching grounds at Basgiath is our generation's greatest asset and greatest liability. And that is from Iron Flame, which so far is my favorite book in the series. I feel like that's not a popular opinion, but it's the one that I like. Maybe this reread of Onyx Storm will change my mind. In addition to the paperback bookmarks, I have a set of 3 dragon magnetic bookmarks with their names on the back. I'm kind of thinking about putting one in each book so far, because there are 3 books and these are 3 magnetic bookmarks. Even just as decoration, that is so cute. We have updates. It's been a couple days since I last checked in with you. Enough days for me to finish Onyx Storm and a second book. I think I've decided to hold on to my theories of Onyx Storm because honestly, this is just such a popular book. If you really want to deep dive into theories, I think that there are other places you can look. And as far as my own personal theories, I don't want to share them because it would just mean spoiling so much of the plot. One thing I love about the Empyrean series is it becomes so much more plot heavy as we continue on, and I love it. And I don't want to do that. I like to keep my reading videos very spoiler free. So hopefully this has maybe convinced you to try to read the Empyrean series if you are remotely interested. I think that there's a reason why it's popular, reason why it's recommended, and why a lot of people like it and rate it highly. It's easy to read. I love a lot of the characters, and I love the lore and the way that the lore is delivered through the book, the world building. I could go on, but I won't. Like I said, I'm holding out for the paperback edition early next year, and then I will transfer all of my Kindle notes into it, just like I did Fourth Wing. Look how beautiful she is. And I will be doing it to Iron Flame as well, but I would like to reread it first. Remember how I was talking about how I was holding myself back from doing a reread because I felt the need to constantly be reading something new? Before finally deciding to just read Onyx Storm, I was trying to get as close to Onyx Storm as I could, and I had heard about this book that a lot of people were recommending for fans of Fourth Wing. They were saying that there were a lot of parallels, and that drew me in immediately. That book is Direbound by Sable Sorensen. I have the Kindle version because it's on Kindle Unlimited currently as I'm filming, and I completely understood why people were comparing this to Fourth Wing. It does have a lot of parallels, like so many parallels that as I was reading in the beginning, I was kind of like, is this just the same story but with wolves? But it does take its own turns and it does become its own story outside of just what it has in common with Fourth Wing. But the things that it has in common with Fourth Wing, I think, are a lot of the reason why I like it. This is a romantasy, and in it, the characters bond to wolves, similarly to how they bond to dragons. And that was new for me and fun because, as you know, if you've been following along with the reading vlogs, I've been reading so many dragon books this year, so I guess I'm switching creatures. And honestly, the plot twists and kind of surprises in this book, they didn't surprise me too much. I kind of guessed, I think, the biggest one, but that didn't deter me from the story. And from where we ended in this book, I am intrigued enough to pay attention to when the second one comes out. I think it's sometime next year, and I will be picking it up and reading it because I want to see where this plotline goes. I need to see how these characters are processing the reveals at the end of this book. Definitely check the trigger warnings, and it says that this is recommended for readers 17 plus. I kind of love that we are distinguishing that in books because sometimes it gets a little dicey, a little confusing, so I love that that is nice and clear. But overall, I think I would give that book like somewhere between a 3 and a 4 star. It was a nice time. And it honestly was a great precursor to the next book that I read, which I've already shown you, Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I think this is technically called paranormal romance, but this is the first book, Bride, which follows a vampire werewolf romance. And the second book, Mate, is more of a werewolf romance. I don't want to spoil anything for you. I think you need to read the first one before reading the second one. The first book reveals the world and some secrets that lead to the events in this book. Ali Hazelwood is just a good time to me. She is always going to be an easy read that is, at the end of the day, a fun time. I just added it to my Fable where I rated it 4 stars. I also love that I got the purple version. And maybe I've explained a little bit before, but I am a fangirl at heart. I love pop culture. And so when there is something trending in the book space, I feel the need to want to be a part of it a lot of the time. So I would say that I am a part of the Ali Hazelwood fandom. I'm excited for the Love Hypothesis movie. I would actually love to see this book series become a visual movie, TV show adaptation. I think that would be really fun to see. And honestly, I kind of hope she continues this. I don't know where she would go from here, but I would definitely read more paranormal romance by Ali Hazelwood. So that is my book update. I am considering starting something called 75 Booked, which if you are in the bookish spaces online, maybe you've seen. It's a challenge where people try to read like an hour and a half every day, and I think I could really benefit from something like that. So if you want to follow along, make sure you are following me on Instagram and TikTok. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you're reading. I always want to know. We are in November now, which is wild to say, but I feel like this is peak cozy reading season, and we can chat more in the next vlog. Bye!